Hi, you all. I wanted to do a follow-up video. So I did a video about Black immigrant politicians and Black people, right? Black Americans, people who have been here for many, many generations and basically almost, I don't know if indigenous is in the word, or I don't know if we would say natives. I really don't know what you call it. But I do know this. We don't have a record of coming from Africa, put it like that. And we've been here for many, many years. We have learned so much about Africa. So this has nothing to do with Africa or just different races in general. People are misinterpreting what I'm saying. And the question was in the beginning, because so many blacks have said, we're so tired of black politicians catering and pandering to us through entertainments and all kind of stuff. And then nothing has really changed for black Americans. Now, what you fail to realize, for those of you who stopped at the word Hispanic, because I mentioned Hispanics, you missed a lot. You really did. There is so much in that video that has so much value. I, again, number one, I made mention that we weren't going to talk about ancestors. I made mention that we wasn't going to talk about 400 years. I made mentions that we weren't going to talk about any of that because we wasn't during that time. We're dealing with our time today. So anywhere from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you understand what I'm saying? Even some of the 60s and 70s, depending on if you still here up in this earth. Remember, for those who watch, I mentioned the scope of every baby boy, child, grandparent, great grandparent, and so forth that exists today. And the reason why I did it that way is so that we can stay focused on today and solving problems today. Now, I want to clear up something. There was two types of people, which is us and Hispanics. So there was Hispanics that say, don't mention us, don't put us in that group. Now, I want to address you. The reason why you don't want to be in there is because you are the newer generation who brought your tail over here. And what you don't want to admit is that, just like I was talking about the black immigrants who have been here for years and who has never went through anything that the black, I mean, I've been here for years, I'm sorry, but the black immigrants who are first and second generation is what I meant to say, who have never been through what blacks have been through in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. You just did not go through that. And you've gotten a lot of positions. You've gotten a lot of great things. Do you understand that? And you've gotten high in positions. And so, and there are some blacks. I will even mention this. There are some black Americans that just have not suffered what the majority of black Americans have suffered. And for that reason, that's because they're in organizations or cliques and groups, and they are part of high echelon groups and stuff like that. So they don't necessarily go through those things that the regular black Americans go through. So I just wanted to clear that up. Now, to get back to you Hispanics, there is a reason why a lot of you don't want to be mentioned, because just like there were some blacks who did other blacks really, really horrible, you have to admit that there were some of y'all that did your own peeps horrible. And when you say that you didn't go through that or they didn't suffer that, you and blacks, that is not true. You need to go do your research. You don't just need to listen to me or anybody else on the internet. You need to do your research. When you listen, this is TCLN network. We are here to grow, to get better, and to not argue. This is an educational news leadership channel. So if you feel that I am not right on something, it is your job. You understand what I'm saying? To go do research. So it is not your job to stop. If you listening to something, you're just gonna stop at the word Hispanic. I was with you until you start saying Hispanics went through. Well, instead of saying that, you would say, on an educational level, if you want to get better, you would say, hey, let me go research and see if what she's saying is true. Because if you go through Pew Research and you go through any type of uh, statistics or any type of anything, you will find out that during, now times are shifting, don't get me wrong, but these are new immigrants coming in too. But if you go look back at what's called your 70s, 80s, 90s, especially 80s and 90s, because that's where I'm speaking from. If you listen to the full video, remember I said that we all have something to add. If you're young, you got something to add from your perspective. If I'm who I am, I have something to add from my perspective. And if you're older than me, you have something to add. But don't just throw the baby away with the bathwater. Don't just stop at Hispanics and say, I was with you until I heard you saying Hispanics suffer too. then you're just gonna miss the whole point, guys. During the 80s and 90s, there were a lot of Hispanics locked up, just like there were blacks locked up. That's the majority of when all that stuff happened. That's what you guys fail to realize. And if you go do your research through Pew, think about what I've been saying about the mental institutions and what I've been saying about blacks being doped up on drugs and what I've been saying. You know, when I say doped up on drugs, I'm talking about systemic drugs, you know, metal narcs and all that kind of stuff, and blacks being targeted, and job loss and all of that, and just being without jobs. Who are the two races, guys? Like you guys totally miss like what I'm saying, because you're thinking in 400 years and you thinking about the whole past. And again, I mentioned how we were going to do this. You understand what I'm saying? Because in order for us to fix something today, we got to face our today. You know, I can't face 400 years ago. You know, that was their battle then. You know, our ancestors expect us to fight our battle today. So that's what the reason why I never ever said that they were for us. Guys, if you know the hell I've been through, if you know the hell, I've worked in property management, honey. Hispanics are predominant in property management and white people. And you do have some blacks. Blacks work in high levels, believe it or not. I've been in real estate. Trust me. Don't ever think that blacks are just, ooh, pody pody. Y'all are missing the point, honey. There are a lot of blacks who got high positions who are doing very greatly. But unfortunately, they just don't look out for the whole black. You understand what I'm saying? So if you hear a video of mine, you understand what I'm saying, and you quite get at like what you guys did, you got at Hispanics and got at me saying they suffer too, but you haven't listened to the whole thing, guys, you're gonna miss the story. You're gonna miss the story. You understand what I'm saying? If you know what I've been through with Hispanics, the prejudice, the evil, the lies, the attacks, not just with Hispanics, but with whites and blacks and all kind of races and Asians and stuff, then you would understand where I am coming from. And I am not negating that they treat us horrible and they've done horrible things to us. That's not what I was saying. I was speaking up for those in whom they done wrong too. Just like some of the blacks done us wrong. You understand what I'm saying? So you guys missed what I was saying. You just totally missed it. So again, I would advise you when you are watching any video, you have a right. I can't tell you what to do, but you have a right to shut something off if you feel that it ain't right for you. That's not the point. The point is when you don't watch the whole thing and you say stuff like, "I stopped when I heard you say this," and then you got 15 minutes of the video left. Like that's not making sense, guys. You understand what I'm saying? Because that means you missed the meat. You missed the story. You missed the meat. But I wish all of you well. And I want to thank all of you guys who subscribed. I want to thank all of you who even commented, like whether you agree or you don't agree, because it caused me to make this follow-up video. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, we're not here. This is TCLN Network. So that means that we're here to educate, to elevate ourselves. That means that we're here to learn leadership principles and concepts that make us better, that turn us into better people, and therefore applying those principles to our lives to where we be better leaders in our lives, whether it's our own business, whether it's one day we aspire to lead something, you know what I'm saying? But that's what this is all about. So there are going to be things that I say that you probably totally disagree, and that's fine. But learn how not to throw away the baby with the bathwater. Like I'll give you an example. There's a guy out there, and I'm gonna end this up because, like I said, I wanted this to be short. But there's a guy out there named Kevin Samuels. I don't know if you ever heard about him on social media, especially on YouTube. But he had a channel, and so many black men had been torn down, right? And of course, he's a black man himself. And so he started talking about high value black men and how there were so many women that wanted these high value black men, but they wasn't practicing being a high value woman themselves. You understand what I'm saying? And they wasn't changing their ways. They just automatically wanted some dude out there to be so high value and to take care of them and to do this and that. So of course he made his whole channel around that concept. Now, mind you, there would be people that disagree with him. There will be people that don't disagree with him. You understand what I'm saying? I remember listening to him one time. I fully understood his concept. And to be honest with you, I fully agree with his concept. But sometimes there would be things he would say I just did not agree with. But do you think I wanted him to die? Do you think I wanted the guy to die? Come on, y'all. Do you think I wanted him to be destroyed? Like, it wasn't that serious. I would be like, oh, okay, Kevin, you're talking about this and high value. Because what I believe about high value has nothing to do with your pocketbooks and all that. To me, it's integrity. Because I can have a man with all the money in the world, but if he don't have no daggone integrity and he's out there sleeping with any and everything, and then he's taking my money and everybody else's money and doing everything, and he looks so good and he looks like a man of high value, then that would be nothing to me. You understand what I'm saying? So even though I agree with the concept of what he was saying, because what he was trying to teach women is that, and men, because he was trying to lift men up. That's really what he was doing. But he was trying to get on these women butts like, you are out here trying to make something out of someone, but you need to make that out of yourself. And I totally agree with that. Like, I can't go out there expecting, that's why I believe in building my own business. I believe that if I want something, I better make that happen for myself. I just can't go looking for a man and expect him to do that for me. You understand what I'm saying? And neither do I expect some man thinking that he can come lay up on me and do that to me. So I have those boundaries. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I fully understand what he's saying. But there were people out there that wanted that man dead. They were on the internet, guys, celebrating that man's death when he died. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it should never get that serious. It should get to a point. I remember I was watching one of his videos and I heard what he was saying. And I said, well, Kevin, I disagree. And I just went on and flicked it off and kept going. I fully understood in the concept, not just throwing away the baby with the bathwater. You understand what I'm saying? There are going to be things that I say sometimes you're not going to agree. You may come from a different age bracket. You may come from a different background. Do you understand that? Like, we don't all come from the same background. Do you know there are some blacks who have never suffered? Like, they've never suffered. They've never suffered poverty. They never suffered what the things that we be talking about. They never been to no jail. They never been targeted. So of course they're not going to agree with me. But if they got common sense, they can't sit in the world and play dumb and act like they don't know this stuff haven't happened when you hear the whole world talking about injustice. So you can't just throw away babies with bathwater. You understand what I'm saying? So just learn, guys, that this is a channel where we're going to learn, we're going to grow. And how you learn and grow is that when you have channels and you're giving stuff, there are going to be people that agree and don't agree. But if they're intelligent, they're going to add their input, but they're not going to try to like slice you down. You understand what I'm saying? So think about that, guys. Add input, because I may know something that you don't know, but you may know something that I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how we grow. That's how we get better. Not just saying, oh, I'm just going to throw you away because you said that. And then our ancestors, this and this and that. I had already made it clear that I blessed the ancestors beyond blessed. Do you understand? They beyond blessed. They went before us. But we're not talking about ancestors. I made that clear. I said we're talking about us and how long we've been existing and the things that we've had to deal with. I made that clear, guys. So I just want to clear up some things, and I hope you understand this. Guys, you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. It's Sunday. And then you have a wonderful rest of the week. What's coming up this week, I am going to be talking about Oprah Winfrey, Whitney Houston, and Clive Davis. So, guys, you make sure you got them notifications on, because you know it's going to be dropping right this week. You know it is. And make sure you check out the newsletter, guys, especially for you guys who like to read. You love to read. You love to learn. And you love concepts and you love understanding, because I go beyond these videos. I bring you real research. I do take out the time to do the research, and I bring you real data. And I make it interesting in my writing voice. I'm creative when I write. So guys, check it out over there on Substack, okay? And have a wonderful one, okay?